Gaza, why Hamas didn't retaliate against Israel's latest airstrikes. Analysts say the group is unlikely to risk another full-scale Israeli offensive, at least for now. The besieged Gaza Strip found itself yet again under the shadow of Israeli warplanes during an 11-day offensive in May, which left in its wake hundreds of casualties and mass destruction. The subsequent, unconditional, ceasefire signed under the auspices of Egypt didn't end Gaza's woes. Many here are still suffering, be it from the loss of loved ones, the scenes of destruction, the impact on infrastructure, Israeli restrictions on who or what can enter the territory, or the reduction of the fishing zone to just 6 nautical miles off the coast. Israel has kept the Erez crossing to Gaza's north closed except for emergency cases, and prevented the entry of mail from the West Bank or abroad. At the Kerem Shalom crossing in the south, Israeli authorities prevent most non-food goods from entering, along with fuel designated for Gaza's only power station. Many politicians and analysts describe the recent ceasefire agreement as still fragile, especially in light of this tightening of the siege on Gaza and the continuation of what is seen as provocations in Jerusalem, such as Tuesday's far-right flag march. Israeli restrictions prompted Hamas and other Palestinian factions to repeat some activities carried out during the Great March of Return along the separation fence, from burning tires at night to launching incendiary and explosive balloons towards Israeli land beyond Gaza's territory. Israel responded by launching airstrikes on Gaza overnight Wednesday and Thursday, allegedly targeting Hamas training sites and stoking fears that rocket exchanges could resume less than a month after they halted. Palestinian factions, led by Hamas, warned Israel against continuing violations against Palestinians in Jerusalem, which sparked May's escalation. But they did not respond to Israeli strikes, despite those being a violation of the ceasefire agreement. Hamas said through its spokesman, Hazem Qasem, "The Zionist bombing of the Gaza Strip is a failed attempt to stop our people's solidarity and resistance with the Holy City and to cover up the unprecedented state of confusion for the Zionist establishment in organizing the so-called flag march." Why no response? Analysts say that Hamas is not interested in firing rockets again from the Gaza Strip, which would likely trigger a heavy Israeli response and more Palestinian deaths, preferring instead to give mediators the chance to try to change conditions in the territory post-bombardment. Hamas will act with restraint during the next stage, whether for weeks or months, said Mukammar Abu Sada, a professor of political science at Al-Azhar University in Gaza, especially in light of the presence of a serious Israeli government, headed by one of the key figures of the Israeli right.